The MacBook Air is a really important product for Apple because this is the Mac that most people buy. In fact, I'm using one to edit this video, and it's looking like as soon as WWDC in a week, we should be seeing the biggest design change in the MacBook Air's history. First, let me go through the history of the MacBook Air's design. The original MacBook Air was released in 2008, and it was a very revolutionary device. It was the thinnest notebook in the world, it featured the unibody design for the first time ever, and it featured the wedge-shaped design. But this design was flawed. It wasn't really thought out from a thermal perspective. It was crazy expensive at $17.99 for the base model, and it was ridiculously slow. This was not only due to the thermal issues, but this was also due to the fact that Apple used in the base model 4200 RPM hard drives used in iPods. But Apple fixed this design only 2 years later in 2010. The MacBook Air featured an even thinner design that shares similarities to the current MacBook Air today. It featured flash storage as standard and introduced the new 11.6-inch model, and it was significantly cheaper, $9.99 for the 11-inch and $12.99 for the 13-inch. This design was untouched for 8 years, until finally in 2018, Apple introduced a new MacBook Air with a new design that followed Apple's design language that had its fair share of issues. A Retina display was added, Touch ID, the giant butterfly keyboard, and an enclosure made of 100% recycled aluminum. In March of 2020, Apple slightly updated this design with a slightly thicker body to accommodate for the Magic Keyboard, which replaced the butterfly keyboard. And in November of 2020, Apple updated the MacBook Air with the M1 chip, which allowed Apple to remove the fan, and this model has been untouched since then. But we're now looking forward to a new generation of MacBook Air, which will feature a redesign that shows the full potential of Apple Silicon. This design is rumored to be insanely thin, feature a wide array of colors like the 24-inch iMac, and white bezels with potentially a white notch as well. And it's very likely that we'll also see MagSafe added to the new MacBook Air. When it comes to the chip, we are expecting M2 in this thing. I'll go into a deep dive of what we should expect for M2 in the future video, but we're expecting the same 4 performance cores and 4 efficiency core layout as M1, but faster cores based on Avalanche and Blizzard, which are found in A15. We're also expecting a bump in GPU performance from 8 or 7 GPU cores to 10 or 9 GPU cores. There was a report from Kuoming saying that this MacBook Air would feature M1 like the current model, but it looks like that report is wrong because Mark Gurman keeps saying that this MacBook Air will feature M2. Now, the display. Kuoming said last year that this MacBook Air would feature a mini LED display just like the new MacBook Pros and 12.9-inch iPad Pros. But Ross Young, who's over 90% accurate, says that this display will still be LCD, most likely the Liquid Retina display, non-XDR. Ross also says that this display will see a slight size increase from 13.3 inches to 13.6 inches. And Ross also added that there's going to be a new 15.2-inch MacBook Air that's being worked on, but we're likely not going to see it until 2023. So this redesign of the MacBook Air is looking to be a huge update for the MacBook Air, and I can't wait to see it. Hopefully we'll see it next week at WWDC.